Ninja Boy James here, and in this video I'll be going over 5 things that are making you lose games in Pokemon Unite. So this video isn't going to go over any of the settings wise of the game, it's just going to be the pure gameplay. Because I see a lot of these things happening in a lot of games that I play, and even in the higher ranks in Ultra League, in Ultra rank, I'm still seeing some of these things. And it's really important that everybody knows what they're doing wrong and then how to improve upon it. Okay, point number 1 that you shouldn't be doing in Pokemon Unite is stealing spawns at the beginning. So this is stealing spawns and also going into the wrong lanes. So for example, you don't want to be taking any of the spawns in the jungle from your Speedster, because they want to have all of the jungle to be able to get their next moves quicker and to be a higher level so that they're able to compete with the enemy's Speedster. You also, if you're in the lane, you don't want to be taking all of the A-Poms in the lane. There are 2 A-Poms there for a reason. You don't need both. You want your teammate to have one and you to have the other. And you want to make sure that you both have enough A-Poms to be able to have a decent level and be able to play either defensive or aggressively depending on the time. And it's really important that each player in that team has what they need, otherwise they can be under-leveled compared to your opponent. And when you're under-leveled, it can be very hard to get to a higher level than your opponent, or even the same level, especially if they're able to get much more momentum at the beginning of the game. Point number 2 is for you as a laner to go for Vespiquen, and as well as for the jungler to get ready to go for Drednaw or help secure the Vespiquen for your team. This is very important for you to do, because if you do secure the Vespiquen and all the Combees around it, then you're going to have more XP than your opponent does, and therefore you'll be able to either dish out more damage or possibly push them back and possibly take over their goal. And that's something that you really need to make sure that you do, especially if it's a Vespiquen before Drednaw. You want to try and take out the enemy goal in time for Drednaw, or maybe a bit after Drednaw has spawned, so that you're able to get Drednaw and basically stop your opponent from getting back to the center faster. It's something really important that you need to do, because if you can take out that goal by getting the Vespiquen, because Vespiquen gives a lot of XP, as well as the Combees around it. You want to have that XP for yourselves, you want to have it for your team, so that your opponents don't overpower you. And then after you get Drednaw as well, everybody on your team gets an XP boost and a shield. And with that, you're able to overpower your opponents. If you haven't taken their first goal already, you could possibly take their first goal straight after Drednaw. And it's easier to be able to take out your opponents since you have a shield, and you're most likely at least 1, maybe even 2 levels higher than your opponent. Reason number 3 why you are losing so many games in Pokemon Unite is that you're over pushing and over committing to your pushes. So what I mean by this is, after you've taken out an opponent's goal, you don't want to be rushing in to try and take out their next goal. The reason why you don't want to be doing this is because at the beginning of the game especially, there's a really fast respawn time. It's something like 3 seconds, something like that. So by the time you take out their goal and you're all the way to their next goal, at least 2 of the opponents are going to be by that goal and ready to attack you. And assuming that you have just dunked your points, you're not going to have many points to be able to slam into that goal, and they could possibly kill you easier. And also, even if you do kill them, you won't have enough energy to be able to do a significant amount of damage to that goal. Sometimes having the smaller bits matter, but most of the time what you want to do, and the more efficient way, is to go back after you've taken out that first goal and start taking out the neutral spawns, like the Vespiquen, like the Drednaw. You want to do that so that your opponent doesn't get them and they fall even more behind more quickly in terms of experience as well as Eos energy. Point number 4 is the most important point on this entire list. If you go away with anything, you need to make sure that you learn this. Is to stop going for Zapdos while you are winning. If the game says you have a huge lead, if the game says that you have a lead, you don't want to be going for Zapdos. Yes, maybe if you get Zapdos, you get way more points. Yes, if you get Zapdos, your opponent doesn't get Zapdos if you get Zapdos. And yes, maybe you might want an 1,000-point game, but you don't want to just throw the game because of greed. Because I've seen so many games be thrown because of the team going for Zapdos. I've done it before, my friends have done it before, everybody has done it, but it's something that you should not do, especially if you want to win. The reason why I say this is because Zapdos, whichever team deals the final blow to Zapdos, they'll all get 20 Aeros energy, and all of the opponent's goals become insta-dunk zone, where you can just spam X and insta-dunk your points. So it's really powerful, but yeah, if your team is winning by a large amount, let's say you have all of your goals still, and you've taken out, let's say, 3 of your opponent's goals. If your opponent gets the Zapdos, they can straight up win off of that. And that's something that you really need to look out for. Because Zapdos itself is something that's not inherently broken of the game, it's just that people don't understand the point of it. It's not a win more mechanic, it's a lose less mechanic. So it basically means that if you're winning, you don't want the people who are losing to get it. What you want to do is to protect it, so make sure you put it in that silicone case, alright? You got to keep it all preserved. You don't want any damage on that Zapdos. But if your team is going for Zapdos and you're trying to defend it, or even if you're trying to attack it, the other team could try and steal it. And if they do steal it, that costs you the game. If you didn't go for Zapdos there, you most likely would have still won. It's the most frustrating. Like I've played over 200 games of Pokemon Unite, and by far, losing because my team goes for Zapdos, or losing because I feel like I can just go for Zapdos with my team, is the most frustrating feeling in the world, because you know that what you've done there was the most stupidest thing you could have done. If you're losing, you go for Zapdos. You want to try and go for Zapdos maybe. If the whole of your opponent's team is defending Zapdos and are higher level than you, maybe you don't want to go for Zapdos. Maybe you do. It depends on that situation. But in the situation of you winning, and you could possibly go for Zapdos, you don't want to do that. You just want to make sure that your opponents do not get Zapdos. And that's like the most important tip that I got in this video. But the next one is almost as important. So point number 5, the final point of things that you should be doing but you're probably not doing, is you should be looking at the UI on your screen. So that means that you should be looking at which moves that you have, you should be looking at the map, you should be looking at your teammates' health, you should be looking at the time, you should be looking at how much energy you have and the experience that you have. You should be looking at this constantly. I've started doing this a lot more in this game, but some of my friends don't do this as much. And also a lot of players in the game just don't do it in general, which is a really bad thing. The reason why this is really bad is because the map, for example, is literally the strongest item in this entire game. Which, whatever your teammates can see, if you hold the left bumper and then move around with the right stick, you'll be able to see it. Also, if you look at Zapdos, even if there's nobody around Zapdos, you'll be able to see Zapdos. You'll be able to see if the enemy team is attacking Zapdos. You won't be able to see who's attacking it, but you'll be able to see Zapdos attacking. You'll be able to see its health going down. Same thing for Dreadnought. Same thing for Rotom. You want to make sure that you're looking at this constantly, especially in Zapdos time. Because if the opponents are going for Zapdos while your teammates are unaware, you want to basically just spam go to central lane for Zapdos because Zapdos is being attacked. And you want to try and either steal it or just kill all the opponents there, depending on how low Zapdos is. It's a really powerful tool to be able to use, especially as a jungler as well. If you want to go into one lane, sometimes what I do is peer into that lane using the map and then see what's going on there, see like the levels, and also see like how everyone's doing in each lane before I go in there. And it's something that a lot of people don't do and that they should do, because having knowledge in this game is really, really good, especially as a jungler, but more so as a team in general, so that you know what your team needs to do to stop the enemy team from achieving their goal of, for instance, taking out Dreadnought or taking out Zapdos, which is something that they shouldn't be doing unless they're in a losing scenario. Thank you guys for reaching the end of the video, and if you like this video, then please leave a like on this video. Also subscribe if you want to see more Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh content from me. I upload whenever I feel like it, more or less, so you won't know unless you're subscribed to me whether I've uploaded or not. And to be double prepared for me to upload, then hit that bell and make sure that all notifications are on. Thank you very much for watching, and this is Ninja Boy James signing out. Peace.